What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. We're still in Sri Lanka for a couple more days. We're at our local temple, local village temple. I'm gonna be heading up to Polonnaruwa again today, and I'm gonna be looking at the Vihara and stuff probably tomorrow. So that's what's up now. We're in the bus now. So this is a private bus, and that's why it's blue. The one we're on, it should be red, and red means it's like a public bus. Buses here are so stylized and nice. The insides used to be crazy as well, with like, you know, things hanging lanterns and whatnot, but now I think they've changed the laws a little bit. Anyway, going on buses in Sri Lanka is one of my favorite things to do, especially back in the day when it used to be like really decorated and whatnot, but now I'm still excited. It made no difference. So we're heading off to Polonnaruwa now, which I think is like a 3 to 4 hour journey on the bus. There's no AC. The only AC is the wind that blows through the wind. About to get off now, real quick. The bus looks like I love bus rides, man. That was so cool. Look at the monk. Right, we need to get the bags. Bags are at the back. The little boot. That's crazy. It has a luggage compartment. It's like not attached or anything, so technically it could fall off. But it's so funny. Alright guys, it is now daytime. We're going to be heading up to the Vihara, but before that we're going to take a little stop at the Koth Vehera, which is this, you know, huge stupa that was built, you know, ages ago, supposedly. Presumably built ages ago. Again, back in Polonnaruwa, it's very chill. Polonnaruwa is a religious city, same with Kandy and Anuradhapura, so there's no like bars and clubs allowed, they're banned. It's like what we would imagine as like Machu Picchu is, for example, like the ancient Inca. You know, it's the ruins of the civilization that we have. Basically all of this. None of this really modern. And this is how it used to look like back in the day, like, you know, there's grasslands and trees and conservationist policies and all that. There we go, you can see the stupa was very run down. There's like moss growing on the sides and all of that jazz happening. A lot of tourists. Very sandy, like the beach. Basket of flowers that we're gonna offer. You know, it's the same thing that we did in Anuradhapura. You have a massive stupa here, we go around like one to the left side, that you always go clockwise, and then you offer the flower that you take around the thing. It's a very ancient structure. No shit, Sherlock. Alright, like obviously you can see each of these little things are shrines. People are inside doing their stuff. So bricks and some sort of cement. I'm not an archaeologist, so you know I can't really comment on anything fancy like that, but I'm sure there are information out there. Again, and a moonstone here. This is kind of like a zodiac stone kind of thing, but like it's Sri Lankan. It's not, you know, the zodiac Chinese kind of thing. And then, you know, what used to be a statue of something, presumably the Buddha, but I don't know. You know, all of this. This is pretty much as it is. As it was, rather. This is how it would have been. Like thousands of years ago. Minimum thousands of years. Let's take a further look at one of these little shrines. Alright. Some of these, you know, I feel like some of these may have been refurbished, but I don't know to say exactly. It's just a little shrine here, huh? Oh, look, some money. We have another little shrine. It's called actually Pilimagaya, or Image House. If you go inside, this is what it probably was actually like back in the day. And this is probably an actual like authentic statue as it were back in the day, I assume. Like I said, I don't really know. There's a little bat out there. Yeah, so there's a little bat up there as well. But this probably was the, Ceylonese architecture. Shall we go? It's not really busy today, very quiet. And I don't know if that's every day, but today is Sri Lanka's Nidahas Day, or Independence Day, February 4th, 1948 was the day, so very calm and peaceful. Yeah, so here we're in another image house, and we see that the statue has been replaced, but what I think we can determine from this is this used to be covered in some kind of plaster or what, and that would have had paintings. It was probably the same all the way up there. Like they wouldn't just have it like this during the peak of their civilization, right? So these stones in the ground, it may have been refurbished using the stones from around here. So you can see this says Buva or Buddha Varsha, or I don't know what that is, like before Christ, or like current era, I don't know, 2528. It's about 2,500 years ago, these stones at least. From here, and all this would have been plastered and covered with paintings like the shrines you see today. If you go to like a modern temple, so it would have probably been like them back in the day, but now going with moss and presence of impermanence. So this must have been some kind of little backdoor kind of situation going on here. See? Alright, so I actually then understood what that little thing that we just went to. This whole thing used to be an image house, just like the ones we just visited, like the little ones. This was a big one. And then here lies a laying down arahant, like a I don't know, awakened monk, right? So this thing that you see here, which looks like a wall, is actually a statue. And it used to be his leg. So this is his bottom leg coming through, and the top leg going through there. And all the, it would have been closed off on all the sides, just like all the other image houses. And so his head would have been like here, that would have been his shoulders, this little lump here, and this would have been his head resting on a pillow or whatever. Damn. Bro found a massive swing. Bro just Yande? Baide? Padinde? Still walking, just soaking it all in here. I'm imagining or pretending to be someone from 2,000 years ago walking along these, but then like these are not run down, it's like a 3D overlay of what it used to be in my head. It's crazy peaceful though, like I don't know, there's just nothing. It's like you're in a forest but like you're not. It's like you're in a forest but you're in a city kind of thing. Very like Indiana Jones vibes for sure. This massive structure here probably used to be like a hall or something. Maybe like a library, who knows? We can read and find out. Oh, they have QR codes here. I wonder if they have a 3D reconstruction of it. It says ancient hospital. Oh, look at that, the monastic hospital. A quick little fact. Pretty sure Sri Lanka has the evidence for like the oldest hospital in the world. Which is cool, like the oldest hospital in the world, like archaeologically speaking, in Sri Lanka. And look at this. This is an original kind of medical thing where they would, probably like drop like a bathtub, I guess, with they would, drop a bunch of herbal tea or water in here and then soak the person for a couple of, whatever time frame was necessary. So this would have been a room with that, and that's still here. God damn. I think not much else is standing besides the structures. It's just stone and brick. So now we're going to see the Naru Polonnaruwa, or like, I don't know, I guess translates like master snake, right? And apparently, according to my aunt, that's how Polonnaruwa got its name, Naru Polonnaruwa. It's just like a flip of the name, but I don't know if that's like, historically accurate. Walking barefoot in this savanna grassland type of thing. Apparently you have to walk up this little rocks to the top. So yeah, the reason we're going barefoot is it's just easier to walk on rocks barefoot because like the rubber soles slip. So yeah. Just been going on these rocks. Yeah. Might have to take a detour. Might not, we'll just go down here. I really hope they don't dislodge. So people leaving their shoots here. Grounds for real, climbing this tree, like what? Because no one's actually climbing down. Like, everybody's just going up. And nobody wants to fucking climb down. Ridiculous. Yeah, you see another stupa from here. We're like, what is that? Something. Another one there. Another stupa. And obviously we had the big dog all day over there somewhere we can't see. So apparently this is Naru Polonga. Stone here. And that's the belly of the snake. I don't know how, if that's carved or maybe it's like an ancient fossil of some sort. But that's the Naru Polonga stone. Obviously there's too many people and not many of them are too shabby and going downstairs. They want to eat here. So we'll get down. Y'all know the grandpa that was wilding. Well, he actually told me the story of the place. So apparently during the Kingdom of Anuradhapura, right, when Polonnaruwa wasn't even like a thing, the king of Anuradhapura sent a minister called Pulatisi. Pulatisi minister came in, to scout for a new village location, and he found this place. After he found this place, given that this rock, is pretty cool, it's chilled a little bit up in the air, he came to rest, and while he was resting on that little rock, because it's, cold, a snake went past him. Or like on him, the story says, like through him, like on his belly and then down. And to mark that spot, he made a little cross or whatever with his sword into the stone itself. The minister that was visiting, scouting this village. And then, after he told the king of the Anuradhapura Empire, they came and found this spot. And then a craftsman came, or stonemason I guess, came and like chipped away an actual, snake looking thing. This is still back in, 2000 years ago. But that's the story. And so that's what the thing represents. Obviously it was difficult to show with all the kids like sitting on it, but that's cool. That's what's up. There's a lot of historical meaning behind this place. And the name for Polonnaruwa also comes from that snake. After the, minister, had the whole snake shenanigan happen to him, it's called Polonnaruwa because it's Polongagerua, or Ruwa means like figure or shape, and then Polonga means snake. So Polongagerua means the figure of a snake. Polonnaruwa. So there you go. These are the stupas back in the day that they had some there as well. You see, this is just what happens to things as they rot, especially in a climate like Sri Lanka, with all the rainfall and the amount of biodiversity this island has. Nothing really lasts except for stones and bricks, as we saw. Stones. Now we're heading off to this might be the main, or like the most, most preserved building. Might be this. So we get a glimpse of how those other buildings would have been with, the 12 stories and whatnot. It's so beautiful on the outside. A lot of, I think, Indian influence here. But, god damn. So yeah, I think, so this is 3 stories, quite obviously, but imagine that other one, this is 12. Ridiculous. We see a bunch of Buddha statues here, and more carvings of a feminine figure, so like, it's ridiculous. How did they even do this? Like why, It's crazy. There's like some animal here, all along the wall here, and yeah, that's a lion, that. Oh my god, there you go, that's the Buddha right there. Huge Buddha statue. So yeah, very religiously significant, this whole place. But yeah. Wow. Breathtaking. this would have been the stairs to go to the second floor. Probably would have been a roof kind of here-ish. Oh my god. This is amazing. Like, especially for 2,000 years ago, this is insane. I think that's around the time of the pyramids, right? Of Egypt, so... Wow. So this is it from the other side. What's interesting to me is, like, why do they have these, like, window looking things? They might be shrines with the Buddha statues inside that, might have been stolen nowadays. Because they definitely don't look like windows to me. Alright, like those look like windows, these little things are windows, but those should not be windows. You can see insane craftsmanship. Obviously these are dilapidated now. Back in the day, would have been top notch. Little dog starving here. Bunch of dogs starving here. But yeah, wow. So yeah, the structure and stuff that we just saw explained here. That's the English part for you all to read. Pause and read if you need. Okay, we've just crossed out to the road and there's a monitor lizard all the way here. Y'all can see that? Yeah. Now we're heading to the Vihara, which stands for like the stone monastery. Vihara, kind of like a stone something. Stone place. Stone something. It's like it has beautiful statues of the Buddha carved out of stone. Drinking stations. Again, this looks like it's been donated by someone. This is the whole economy. There's a huge gift economy in Sri Lanka where you do something like you make a public good, just, no profit, and then it's believed that you get good karma in return or something like that. Yeah, pristine landscape. You don't even see any lawnmowers. This might just be the natural grass that grows here. There is savanna grounds up here in Sri Lanka. Like the upper middle is savanna. South is like what? Tropical. Candy, like the hill. So yeah, these are the statues that we're talking about. So yeah, a little warning to behave yourself. It's a sacred place with pilgrims. Photography is prohibited with person. So these are some stone carvings. I really wish that they would give a bit more information on when it was, actually carved. But there's not too much information on it. Look at this. Samadhi statue. Look at that. Beautiful work. There's imagery of the lions from the bottom to the sides. You see I don't know what they are, but they're very common in Sri Lanka. Oh my god. Another little place. Another Buddha statue. It's like a mini version of the one on the side, I guess. So look at there's actually things written on this. Such mastery of the stroke of the thing. And then there's two more statues here. Amazing craftsmanship. It really seems to capture the pose. It really does look like he's standing a little bit to the side. And this one is like a laying down one. This is kind of the one that we saw earlier today that was like ruined. We saw the leg. And you can see the arm here is destroyed. A little story with this statue specifically is that one of the colonizing officers, and they were in Sri Lanka, shot at the Buddha statue from his up there. They shot at it, and so which chipped away the little part of his forearm. And right after, an elephant came from behind and just killed the guy. I don't know if that has any historical accuracy, but that's the story that we've been told on why there's a little chip there and what happened as a result if you do that kind of things to these statues now. I guess it's a very preventative measure, right? If you hear a story like that, no one's going to try to destroy these statues again. At least those who grow up hearing that story. But again, we don't know the validity of such a claim. So apparently, according to this kid, this drawing is where the colonizing officer stood. So apparently he wasn't standing like this and shooting. like a normal person, but he was cross-legged. That's what this guy told me. And so yeah, that's, you know, pretty straightforward. Makes sense that he'd be here ish. But yeah, I guess it's a prevailing story slash myth. So yeah, that's pretty chill. Out of 10, I'd give that like a solid 6 out of 10. You know, it's not bad. It's just it's very, you know, I really like the buildings that were run down. That was quite good. But the 3 statues here, you know, I guess because I don't really know the story behind it, it's like, alright, so 6 out of 10 if you're here. Nice to see. Definitely don't come during the day. I came during the day. It was too hot. It was too everything. And there's monkeys all around that are actually waiting for people to eat ice cream so that they can grab it off. Like my aunt got hers stolen, bro. So yeah, solid experience. I think we'll be growing a little bit more Polonnaruwa for you guys over the coming following days. And then that's it for Sri Lanka. So this is the lake, and the water from this gets irrigated all throughout these villages and whatever, the paddy fields and everything, and the canals that eventually goes to feed those paddy fields. Well, in the afternoon people come down, wash their clothes, you know, have a little barbecue and whatnot. I think there's some people, you know, just chillax, have a barbecue, have a little shower. That's what we do here. See also how sweaty and hot I was at Polonnaruwa, like to the point that I had to call it quits, like before we saw half the things. But this is what we do in Sri Lanka when you come to Polonnaruwa. There's a huge man-made lake over here that we saw on the way down here. And that, like I said, propagates through here and irrigates all the fields and whatnot downstream. But the great thing about this is because it's free-flowing water, people just come here to wash their clothes, you know, wash themselves, have a little party. They've even built these structures here, which weren't here the last time I came here. There's even people rowing. Sri Lankan flags there because it's Independence Day. And that's what we do. So before the Dutch, you know, the Netherlands, they had their, you know, great irrigation society. Sri Lanka was, I think, humanity's like largest irrigation-only advanced society. The Anuradhapura Kingdom and the Polonnaruwa kingdoms. They realized there wasn't much water, so they made these man-made lakes. And then, you know, they made their own thing. It's crazy. It's crazy to think such a heritage, such rich, you know, globally significant heritage that we have here, that we get to enjoy. And obviously in Australia and whatnot, there's not much of a swimming culture like this. No one really goes into lakes unless you live in the regional areas. Here, that's what we do. We're in the lake. What's up? Joint? It's very chill. It's very shallow here. You can see no one's really going there because it's a little dangerous. And the kids and all the moms like yell like, "Don't go there! Like you're gonna drown, you're gonna die." Gross. It's so fun. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful vibe. I said this is like how my mom would have grown up, you know, with the. So yeah, this thing's very common in Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura area. Not so much in Kandy, which is like, you know, so like my dad wouldn't have done this when he was a kid, but my mom, every day, like there was a little stream going right in front of her house, behind her house, that she would have, you know, washed her clothes and everything. Whoa. So yeah, that's the bathing culture here, specific to Polonnaruwa and Anuradhapura, because like I said, of the hydraulic civilization that we had and the canals that they dug. It's one of the, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing. Obviously, if you come here as a tourist, the chance you get to do this is like effectively slim. But for us locals here, goddamn, you know, getting out of that cold water. Not cold, it's alright. Into this, it's alright. Temperature after a long hot day is like, whew. There's no like public change rooms or anything. You just change out in the open area. For men, you know, we just tie a little towel around ourselves, like a sarong, and then do the thing. You can see that's the lake that this water is getting fed through. Let me show you all the lake. See, no one's doing it here because it's so strong. I was there, like under that second pipe, and it was so strong I couldn't stand because the current just pushes you. So these two girls were too sick and couldn't bathe, so they were just watching us. I made sure to charge them like $100 rupees per person to like watch us bathe. Like you can't just like, nah, we ain't doing this for free, you know. the tree, you see this tree, white dots, all birds. Look at it, decked out tuk-tuk. Ice cream tuk-tuk as well, just like it's low-key like a beach, you know. End of the day, like we're gonna get some snacks from here. I was just talking to the local, you know, guy here that we're getting food from, and he said that started this shop once the park started. So apparently that little slide and stuff were only installed about a month ago. It's cool to see. Like I said, it wasn't here last time I was here, so nice to see it being developed. There's so many like mosquitoes and flies and stuff here. It's just a part of island life. Like there's coconut palm just above me. It's so nice. So yeah, this is the insanely huge man-made lake. Somebody's going rowing on here, and that's what gets fed in through various canals, right? Numerous all around, and it irrigates all the downstream, you know, regions. It's insane the amount of, you know, technology, especially at that day and age, to figure out where the canals, you know, where the rainwater would pool and all that stuff. It's crazy. So yeah, now it's just a chill walk back home, having pizza for dinner tonight. I guess I'll catch you in the next vlog. I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but